September 21st, 2010.
5-0? This is a disaster! They're gonna miss the playoffs again! The sky is falling! Grab all the canned goods you can find, we're moving to the shelter! It's the end of the world!
September 22nd, 2010.
Leafs win 4-1 in your face, son! Plan a parade!
Okay, the parade can start on Bay Street.
March all the way to Ottawa just to rub it in their face. Dynasty in the making, son!
The Leafs' first 2 preseason games prove something I've always thought. When you ask a Leafs fan how they're doing, it's never, yeah, I'm fine. It's either everything is awesome and Gary Roberts should be the mayor, or everything is horrible, Ron Wilson should be fired, Phaneuf shouldn't be captain, Versteeg made me fail my science test. So before I talk about the actual games themselves, let me just emphasize something. It's the preseason, and win or lose, it doesn't really matter. Now, just to be clear, in past videos I've said that it really matters, and it's true to the players competing for roster spots, minutes, potentially a contract. As far as being a team, points in the standings, making it to the playoffs, it doesn't matter. You could actually lose every preseason game and win the Stanley Cup. Or you could do amazing in the preseason and then finish 29th in the league. That sounds familiar, doesn't it, Leafs fans? Now into happy things. You like my new jersey? My favorite jerseys were from like the Gilmore era when I was a kid, and this is like a better version of that. But finally, on to the games. Leafs lose the Coke Zero fans' first game, 5-0. Now, I was doing a chat on Leafs Space Live, and fans weren't all over the Leafs after the game when they lost 5-0. It was like first intermission when it was 2-0. And the Leafs haven't been to the playoffs since 2004, so you can understand why fans would be a little, eh. And to their point, the Leafs did get dominated. Leafs plus-minus leader Carl Gunnarsson was a team worst -3. Phaneuf got burned a few times, most notably by Nick Foligno, who, by the way, even in the second game was looking amazing for the Sens. And maybe the most glaring point of the game, the power play was a horrendous 0-for-8. And Nazem Kadri, competing for a roster spot, led the team with almost 10 minutes of power play ice time. In Nazem's defense, the other team leaders in that department, Versteeg, Caberlet, Armstrong, and Phaneuf, all played 8 and up minutes on the power play. Power play just stunk. But when you're talking about special teams, chemistry is so key, and these guys have none yet. You look at the 5 guys I just mentioned, for example, the 2 that played together the most were Phaneuf and Caberlet, and they played together for like, what, a quarter of a season? But that being said, some of the younger guys in the lineup, like Kadri, like Mueller, like D'Amigo, they all had to get better. In the preseason, your chances to impress are so few, and I'm not sure any of those 3 really showed that they deserve a spot on the roster yet. Now enter the second game. Way better roster up front, particularly the top line of Kulemin, Bozak, and Kessel. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this great quote by Mike Komisarek, but he said Tyler Bozak and Kessel were so inseparable that he started calling them Bert and Ernie. Bert, I sure like being your center, Bert.
And I like when you pass to me, Ernie.
But if they're Bert and Ernie, what does that make Kulemin? Looking away from offense for a little bit, the Leafs goaltending in Game 2 was great. And you know, despite the result, I thought Gustafsson and Reinus actually did pretty well in Game 1. But James Reimer for a little over the first half of the game, and then Ben Scrivens really held down the fort for Toronto. James Reimer's spot on the Marlies is pretty safe. It's just a matter of will he be the starter or the backup, one of the AHL's best goalies when he was healthy last year. Ben Scrivens, on the other hand, battling for a spot on the Marlies, or he could be sent down to Reading of the ECHL. Obviously, nothing wrong with that. James Reimer won ECHL playoff MVP just a couple years ago. And I'm about to say something I haven't been able to say for quite some time. The Leafs have goaltending, what was that word? Depth. Highlight of the game for me, anyway. Lassard comes flying in. Komisarek checks him right between the benches. Right on to Pierre Maguire. Heads up. As he's getting up, who did that? Colton Orr goes, I beg your pardon? Lassard? Nothing, Mr. Orr. I'm just going to get on the bench. Phil Kessel scores his first of the preseason, squeaking 1-5-hole on Brian Elliott. The guy's got one of the quickest releases in the league. 2009 second-round draft pick for the Leafs and defenseman Jesse Blacker gets 2 assists. Get to know this guy. Burke says he's going to be a top 4 defenseman someday. Grabowski and Kessel, for that matter, looked a lot faster out there. And maybe the most impressive player in the game, also a goal scorer, was
Luca Caputi! Luca Caputi!
pretty much my new favorite song. Luca Caputi looking big, looking strong out there, and showing a scoring touch. So what did we learn from the first 2 games? Some guys are already looking a lot better than they did last year. But with such a new team, chemistry looks like it could be an issue. And the story doesn't change from the preseason. There's still a ton of pressure on the young guys because they have so few opportunities to prove themselves. But the Leafs have only played 2 preseason games so far, and there's 9 of them. So yeah, they'll get a few more chances. So let me know, do you guys have any opinions? I'm just kidding, I know you do. You watch hockey. Give me a text or video response. Add me to Leaf Space, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'll see you later.